Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, TAMI Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey. Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to this December energy. I don't even know what to call it. Forecast update. This is going to be the first of 3 updates that we do for December energies, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute as I'm puttering around the studio here, lighting us a candle. Let's get settled in, first of all. I've got a lot to share. I don't want to keep you all too long, though. So if you are new to this space and this place, welcome to the family. Hang out with us. See, like I always say, see how you vibe with our tribe. If you're a returning family member, welcome back. I am in deep gratitude for all of you here. Like we always say, your bright, cheery, beautiful energy just makes the TLC for the Soul family and our channel spaces and places even more bright and light-filled. High vibe tribe. We're all over the place. You may have found us on YouTube, or you may have found us on a podcast provider. We're like all over the place. We're on Audible and iHeartRadio and Google and Apple and Stitcher and I don't even know. We're on so many different podcast providers. So right now, what I always do, if you're not familiar with what I'm doing, especially since you can't see me, I'm gathering some cards. So they just kind of have me walking around, gathering things for this episode. I do have a couple of little announcements to make as well before I jump into December. Let's first wrap us all in love light and light love. As I invite in the guides who overlight this show, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Michael, the Pleiadians. We have other guest guides that step in and out, but these seem to be the 3 who are kind of walking with us on every episode. I'm going to plug in the Christmas tree. Okay. One announcement that is time sensitive. Yesterday I posted a quick update. If you haven't seen it or listened to it, that's fine. I can post a link to it. You can go back to it if you are so inclined. For the Pleiadian power boards for, I know I get all the moons. I say all the moons wrong, but it's for this new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius that's coming up this Friday, Saturday. I went back yesterday and I realized, what the heck was I saying? I kept calling it a full moon. Obviously, eclipse has the power of, full moon on steroids. But Pleiadian power boards is something the Pleiadians brought forth. They are group healing options. I don't want to go all into it. I'm going to link to the quick update that describes it. And I also have a description on my website about it. But there's 2 boards. They're group healing boards. One is like one is more like a health intuitive type board. The other one is wealth, love, and destiny board. I want to thank you to those of you that have already booked in for those boards. The explanation of what they are and all that, is out there if you feel like you are interested. This is one that we're doing for the solar eclipse. It's going to be very, very powerful. Group healing sessions with the Pleiadians and friends, whoever else is being invited in to work those power grids, those power boards that we're setting up. If that's something you're interested in, the Pleiadians are telling me that we will need to close the booking in for those boards on this coming Friday at 12 noon Central Time, they'll have me take down the book now booking buttons or whatever you want to call it, and we'll close those boards out for this specific time period. It sounds like we're going to have one other one closer to the full moon in Gemini, right around the winter solstice here, summer solstice there if you're in the southern hemisphere, because I know we have listeners now all over the world. But we'll have another one later this month. So those boards, just quickly, are really good if you are, right now, I know it's the holiday season, maybe on a little budget, but you may want to top off your energy, get a very good clearing, and some personalized attention on the group boards at a kind of a very good price. And those are $44 to be included on the group boards, unless you want a personalized question answered, and then it's a total of $66. And that's really good, like if you've been budgeting and maybe you haven't been able to budget in a booking with me personally, then the group boards are a really good alternative option that are just as powerful as having a personal session. So go ahead and check those out if you feel called. For those of you that have already booked in, I know a couple of people have emailed me to let me know that they've booked in, and I haven't had a chance to respond to you yet. So thank you so much. I will get back to you as soon as I can today. And the way that will work too is everyone before the boards start will get an email from me letting you know what's going on. So you are very clear about what's happening and kind of when and all that. All right. So what I have here is a surprise for me for the December energy update. I haven't even drawn out the December calendar yet, which always has like additional intuitive things on it that show up in the drawing of it. So I will post that later on. Probably won't get to that until tomorrow. But this next 4 or 5 days anyway is just going to be super intense in a good way. But what they brought forward for the December energies is a couple of things. So I have our candle lit, and what I'm going to do, we were going to do energy stories again for this month, and pull some cards to kind of bring in additional information from the story. So these are like stories I channel the stories in. We read the story. In this case, it's for December's energy. So Spirit will have me, the guides here will have me pull out any pertinent themes for this time period that have to come out of the story. And then we pull cards to kind of, again, like confirmation of those key themes. And then what I'm also planning on doing for this eclipse is a pick a card. So you can get personalized messages. I have to walk around the house and get my water. How does my dog lay like that? Oh my gosh, I wish I could take a picture and show you guys what she's doing. It looks like a very crazy yoga pose. All right. So what they brought me for December for our guides, 2 things showed up. The other day I was at the river. I walk the dog there every morning. I think I'm so blessed to have a space like that so close to my house, like a 5-minute drive away. And I haven't found any painted rocks in a while. And right there, just waiting for me. And when I go in that early in the morning, it's like a city park, but there's nobody, especially this time of year. It's off season because we're like a tourist town, but nobody's there in the cold, that early. So we have the whole ginormous like park with hundreds-year-old cypress trees and fog and the river and all that, like all to ourselves. And right there sitting there was like this little stone. And I was like, what is that? And the familiars are really good about getting our attention, right? And so the dog kind of like had me like look at this spot that I wasn't normally paying attention to. And it was a little painted rock. I'll put it out in our pick a card video because that will be a video since this is an audio. But it was a ladybird. So, or I say ladybird. So the UK folks, you call it ladybird. Here in the US, it's typically called ladybug. Since most of my ancestry is UK, Scotland, and Ireland, I just like to, as much as I can, work in those references. And I like ladybird, and I call my dog ladybird a lot too. So it was a painted rock like a ladybug or a ladybird. It had 6 black dots on it. And the number 6 is very significant for this month of December. So anything with 6s, 666, 66. So one of our spirit guides is the ladybird for this month. And the other one is what's coming out in our story. Let me just make sure what's coming out in our story. So a while back, we did a Spirit Guides of Tessa Locke story called The Rose of Santo Domingo. Not many people, I don't think, really listen to that story. You guys should. But regardless, I'm going to put it out in a short story ebook here in the next week or so. So for those of you that read my books, all my ebooks are free to read. So that story, Rose of Santo Domingo, will be out there if you want to read it. Or, if you just feel inclined to go scroll the podcast and look for it. It's just one story, I think, in one episode. But we are being brought back to the Spirit Guides of Tessa Locke, which there's 2 main stories for that now out there. The Mist Vamp and the Rose of Santo Domingo. And they've given us an energy story. I know, why does it sound like I've just been drum rolling for like 5 minutes? We're bringing back a rose. So the Rose of Santo Domingo was a rose of the heart. And this story for December is the Rose of San Juan Capistrano, the Rose of Inner Power. So there's an overarching theme of this month of December 2021 of getting our inner power back. And not necessarily getting it back, I guess, because it's kind of like, Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, like it was there all along kind of thing. But us feeling like we have increased inner strength and inner power. And I guess it is a little bit, they're saying like of realizing like everything was, they're saying like everything was fine all along. You never had anything to worry about. It's easier said than done, but you never had anything to worry about. Everything was fine all along. And now you're going to start seeing the fruits of your labors pay off, kind of a thing. I did listen to Molly McCord did a December energy update. Well, it's not energy update, but astrology update. And there's like 8 key powerful transits or astrological things happening this month that all support the same thing, like the ending of karmic cycles, which we've been working with that theme for the past 3 months. If you've been following the show for a while, this is the last month of Unhooked Karma and Unleashed Possibilities was our theme for the last 3 months. And so speaking of that, I need to start working on our 2022 quarter themes and bringing in a forecast for the first quarter 2022 as well. But we're here now talking about December. So 8 key astrological transits, conjunctions, and things happening. So we've got this new moon with the full solar eclipse. We have a full moon in Gemini that's very powerful. We have a Uranus in Taurus, kind of a conjunction. There's something else with the galactic center, and you should go listen to it because I'm not an astrologer. Like I would just be like amateur astrologer, but I do know how to read charts and all that. But it was just one thing after another for 8 different things happening this month that further support all of the newness that's coming in that's really started for a while now. I think it really started with Lionsgate this year, but it's just peaking this month. It's absolutely insane, the amount of things. So let's stay on track and let's start reading our story. This is just chapter 1. There'll be 3 chapters of this little short story of this Rose of Inner Power. And just to better understand at a high level, This is the Spirit Guides of Tessa Locke, which is the sister city to Rockaway Point, which shows up in all of my Bringers of the Light series stories. The main players in this one, so Rockaway Point has Dakar and Abigail, who are very actively involved in Bringers of the Light HQ work. They're light warriors. They are consciously aware that they are working on behalf of the light. They have a boss at Bringers of the Light HQ and all that. Like, they know what's going on. So this Tessa Locke, the sister city, with these Spirit Guides of Tessa Locke stories, has Rosalie and Calvin O'Hanrahan as our divine counterparts. But the thing that appears to be happening here is they're light bringers or light warriors or light workers, but they're kind of not really aware that that's what they're doing. It's like they're doing it, but they're kind of like being led unbeknownst to them. So these are all metaphors coming out. So put on your master ears and your spiritual knowing cap, like open up your crown. Let's just Om a few times, because what that does when you chant Om is it opens up your crown and it brings in spiritual power, spiritual energy, and it clears out your entire field. Like, just with a few chants of Om, it's as powerful as doing like chakra clearing and all of that, because it kind of does it for you. Like the energy of the word and the tone, it's a tone, clears out your energetic bodies. It doesn't do it all, but it definitely gets the energy flowing. So let's get you in that receptive state. So you're not, you could be listening to me like driving in the car or whatever, but we want to also have you and your guides kind of spoon feeding you whatever the metaphors and messages might be for you personally. We're giving these at a group level, but there could be things that I'm not pulling out of the story that are things that are meant for you. They could be confirmations. They could be, Spirit's messages for your journey as well. So just going to do 3 Oms. You can chant with me if you'd like. And we always kind of have you feel, or if we haven't been, we want to start having you be part more of the physical experience of the energy flowing through you as it comes in and around and down and all that. And some of you are more sensitive to it than others, and know more how to work with your energy than others do. So we're teaching here at the same time that we're just giving you an energy update, because that's part of my job, right? I'm not just here to like spoon feed you energy updates. We're here to get you, part of my job is to here to get you familiar with working with your own energy, with your own power, with your own soul's magnificence. Cannot talk. This is day 2 of the channeling is coming in. It's because the downloads are coming in really fast and my mouth can't keep up with them today. Today is just day 1, I think, of starting to feel the energy of this new moon, and I'm feeling a little tired today. So, Om, that's what we're doing. Okay, so take a deep breath in. Let's do this together and just feel. See if you feel it. I don't want to lead you. See what you feel in your body, if you feel anything with these. Okay, let's do it together. Okay. So let's proceed with our story. So we have Rosalie, Calvin O'Hanrahan, who are light workers they're light workers, they're working on behalf of the light, but they don't really consciously aren't aware that they're doing it. And it looks like they kind of do things in places, in sacred spaces and stuff. So when you're not really aware that you're doing energy work, because some of you are like psychics, mediums, intuitive. I know a lot of people listening here, either professionally or amateur wise, are mediums, shamanic practitioners, all of that. And so you're aware of the role that you play. Others are not, but your DNA, your soul signature is what makes you kind of a bringer of the light. I say bringer of the light because that's the book series. That's how they gave it to me for the books. But you're a light warrior, you're a light bringer, and your soul signature is needed to up the vibe, up the vibration, up the frequency in certain sacred spaces and places. And they may not even be sacred at the time, but in certain places on the planet, because we're trying to, right, part of being a light bringer is to tip the scales of lower vibe to higher vibe, right? We're all trying to raise multidimensionally in vibration, to raise the vibration and help raise the vibration of the planet. That's why you came. You wouldn't be listening to the show if you were just like Mojo on the street who was not spiritually active. Like, every soul is important. I'm not trying to downplay that. But if you were just like a regular Joe on the street who is not spiritually awakened, had no idea what they were doing, whose DNA hadn't been activated, like, it's totally a different vibe, all right? So there is a sense of, it's not a sense of entitlement. No, but it's like, it's a special assignment. It's something you should be proud of, that you are here to help the planet. But it's not just you. I think I remember when I haven't gotten into the story yet. Don't let me diatribe, you guys, okay? Because I could diatribe for a long time. But like, when you first spiritually awaken, you might have been like, I am a light worker. I remember it was like, I'm here to save the planet. It's like, well, yes, in a sense, yes, but not just you. You and the other light warriors of the 144,000 tribe, not the 144,000 in number, because I think it's gone beyond that now, but 144,000 is kind of like 144 is like an activation code of awakening. There's a lot of light language coming in here. This December is so the light, the vibrancy of the light coming in for this December is just overwhelmingly, like, unconditionally loving. If I just sit here and like tap into it, I'll just be like crying the whole time because of how good it actually feels. But you have to be able to rise up enough to actually get to that level of being able to feel that, and maybe kind of coming out of, there's a duality this month of, we've talked about this before too, of being on kind of two concurrent timelines. One where you might be pulled into lower vibrational stuff that's closing out of your reality with all of these conjunctions and transits and stuff, lunations and stuff happening this month. And oh, my hands are so tingling so much. All right, I'm just going to be sending you guys blessings and gold. We may not even get to this story. Gold light and sending you the vibes of this higher light into our group, into our tribe that's listening to this, no matter when you're listening. They're saying, I'm being a power board right now. So whatever you're feeling, they're trying to like really get people up and excited about these power boards. Whatever you're feeling right now, the Pleiadians are coming in and saying, this is what a power board feels like. And that they like to do these as group sessions because the power and the vibes of the group are what make the board even more magnified. So we typically don't do a power board like for one person. I don't know. They're saying never say never, but it's like the group ones are more powerful because our crowns are one, our souls are one. Yeah, our hearts are one. It's just like when there's a group of us on these power boards that they're talking about, it just raises the vibe even higher and higher and higher. And the more light language I speak, the higher the vibe goes. And these are multi-dimensional boards. It's not just like a crystal grid, but it's going to have like all sorts of stuff going on. But anyway, they're like, what you're feeling now and what you're going to feel throughout this show are like the vibrancy and the power of what these power boards are like too. Okay, do I get to read the next story? Because I'm just keep withered going on here. Okay. 24 minutes in. So we have Rosalie and Calvin again. There they are. And then their familiars or their friends are Catamancy. He's a cat wizard. He's Rosalie's familiar. We have Molly McBottoms, the house fae, and Greer, the house elf. So without further ado, let me read this and pull out what we need to talk about for December, flip a few cards, and then we can go on our way. Golly, this is like a long thing. So this is only chapter 1. It's called Heat and Inner Fire. The day was bright and sunshiny, even with the weather forecasting a storm blowing in from Rockaway Point Bay. The tansy rose, which was like the seduction rose from the Rose of Santo Domingo, the rose that didn't get used in that story, the tansy rose, they brought the tansy rose back to the garden room, the inner garden room, and it was there in the greenhouse area of Rosalie's flat. But the tansy rose sat perched atop the windowsill of the inner garden room, and Greer dusted around all the pots of seedling flower babies, assuring that all the little souls inside the flowers felt safe and comfortable. His mistress Rosalie was out teaching her gardening class, and his new master of the house, Calvin, was fixing his bow tie and looking quite dapper at that. What had been a night of complete and utter weirdness a few months ago had blossomed into a full romance, and Calvin and Rosalie had fallen in love, just as the little Rose of Santo Domingo had come there to fulfill, for matters of the heart were her expertise. But now a new Rose was stepping forward, and it had a very different life purpose. This is where it all shifts. Okay, this is what this eclipse is bringing in. A new Rose stepping forward, which has a very different life purpose. So I don't know yet about where the rose fits into your life, but let's see. The Rose of San Juan Capistrano sat under a green light, green for healing, basking in the feminine power of its gilded gold edges and strawberry pink petals. This rose had a job to do, and it was time to activate. So there's these activations coming in. Molly McBottoms sat sunning herself alongside the tansy rose, who exuded a masculine power that was so strong Molly had to fan herself with the miniature Japanese fan she had found on her last adventure outdoors. Someone had thrown out an entire miniature home in the dustbins, and she had enlisted the help of Greer to carry inside, or transport rather, the small gypsy caravan with the miniature silk rug, small outdoor table and chairs, and mini kitchen setup. But that Japanese fan had captured Molly's attention above all else. Somehow, when she fanned it in front of her, she could see into other worlds, kind of like a hagstone. And those other worlds had messages for her, and the messages foretold of a great adventure coming for Rosalie and Calvin. And whatever it was being kept tightly guarded. There's something, okay, I won't say it till the very end. The only thing the spirits of the Japanese fan would say was that it was really, really good. Well, Molly wasn't one to believe blindly. She did have immense faith, but she was also level-headed and a sort of, I'll believe it when I see it kind of fairy. Okay, we talked about that the other day with, what was it? Oh, you guys, I can't remember. The Rose of San Juan Capistrano poofed out a strawberry-scented vibe, and Calvin turned to look towards the inner garden room. He had to get back to his job at the School of Herbs, where, based on all the gardening class knowledge he had acquired, he had been hired on as a master herbalist. It's funny how once you put your mind to something, you can achieve anything. But as soon as he had started, the Rose of San Juan Capistrano would be calling him and Rosalie away from Tessa Locke, and to a new town where magic and mystery were waiting. The town of Whistling Gulch was calling, and it wanted someone to come and bring the light. This little town had seen its fair share of down times, and had put out a call to the angels for guidance and assistance. Whistling Gulch was deep in the forest of the Forbidden Bears, and deep within the perimeter of Tessa Locke's jurisdiction, but that wouldn't stop the powers that be. They wanted Calvin and Rosalie on this assignment, and even though the pair wasn't actively aware of their Bringers of the Light service work, they always stepped forward when called upon. They would realize it soon enough. But for now there was a dark forest in the forest of forbidden bears, and Whistling Gulch had had enough. The cell phone dinged on the kitchen counter, and Calvin stepped over Catamancy to retrieve it. Did you know that cat wizards had the power to make a cell phone call? Well, maybe that's for another time. Hello. I don't think he said it like that. Or maybe he did. Hello. Hello, Calvin said politely. Even though the caller Hello, Calvin said politely. Even though the caller ID said potential spam. Hello. Oh my God, I gotta get my voices down. Hello, this is Wendy Willington calling from Whistling Gulch Retreat. Wendy, a.k.a. Mrs. Smitherton of Bringers of the Light HQ, said into the telephone, "Are you the man of the house?" Which, of course, she knew full well that he was. "Well, yes, I am," Calvin said politely again. But before you go any further, he didn't want to go to another timeshare presentation. "Well, it's your lucky day," Mrs. Smitherton said, smiling from ear to ear. Oh, there's our cat. "You've won an all-expense-paid getaway to Whistling Gulch Mountain Retreat. No strings attached." She paused, only briefly. "But we didn't enter any contest," Calvin said, although he had recalled Rosalie filling out a contest entry form at the last autumn festival. "We would like to offer you this brief vacation getaway with all the trimmings," Mrs. Smitherton said, hoping he wouldn't hang up. She did have other ways of getting her point across, but she didn't like to ping people mentally if she didn't have to. I might have to go kick a little dog's butt. No, I would never do that, but Mia? "I'll have to talk it over with my love," Calvin said, always uncertain how he should refer to Rosalie when speaking to others. Was she his other half? His soulmate? His better half? His life partner? He still wasn't sure. But he did know love, and so he liked to call her that every chance he got. "We can send a limo for you and a guest this Friday if you like," Mrs. Smitherton said, pushing with her mind. I'm going to push with my mind on that dog in just a second. "You'll find everything you need to know about this in your email and on our website. You can even call our main office and get references if you're unsure." Of course, that phone number went straight to HQ main office. As Calvin was ho-humming about this whole strange situation, the flowers and plants in the inner garden room were listening. Catamancy rose and silently padded into the room and up to Greer. "Project Lightwork 101 is about to commence," he mentally said to Greer. "We need to be ready." Greer nodded in agreement and understanding and put down his dust cloth. He would have work to do in order to ready the Rose of San Juan Capistrano for... Okay, so I actually did have to go reprimand a overworked dog. So Project Work Lightwork 101. So Greer has to ready the Rose of San Juan Capistrano for travel, but he'd done it before. Molly McBottoms put the Japanese fan down and said a silent prayer. Her guardians were getting a special assignment, one that would stretch their relationship, bringing them closer together and activating their light bodies to an even higher degree of spiritual power. She must help the others to get ready, she thought, pulling a tapestry travel bag from the hole in the wall of the little corner garden. They were going on a quest. Okay, and so that is our chapter 1. Sorry for all the crazy weirdness. In heat and inner fire of this Rose of San Juan Capistrano. I haven't drawn it yet, which I will. But for the past, the thing that I did want to share is this: they're going on a quest, which has come up in other readings that I've been doing. This kind of secret quest that's coming up as a result of all these new beginnings coming through with this, all these astrological transits and changes. It's not just the astrological, it's the energy behind all of it. it's kind of like all this time that you've been waiting for something, you kept hearing like everything's fine. The only thing that you're waiting on is divine timing. Now is the divine timing aspect kind of finally being ready for you. It's like you were ready for it all this time of stuff coming up. Like, when's this going to happen? When's that going to happen? And, you know, many of you, not all of you, like some of you still needed work to do, like soul work to do. And maybe some of you still do. But for this, for most of you, you know, it was kind of like, you're right where you need to be. You're just waiting on divine timing. And finally now, divine timing is here. But for the past, I would say 4 days from the Shaman's Drum deck, every morning I draw cards for myself. And for those 4 days in a row, 4 mornings in a row, the same 2 cards have fallen out of the deck together. And this is after shuffling. The same 2 cards have come out together. Not like one drops and another one drops. Like they both come out together every single time. It's so interesting. And it is, I will share them with you. I have to get up to go get them. It is the Quest card with a mountain. So they're taking me back to Kilimanjaro because we did an experiential here on the show a few months back. This is where the rubber meets the road, they're saying. So they're trying to bring me back to that Kilimanjaro experiential, which is on a playlist on YouTube. It's a 3-part, it's either a 2 or 3-part experiential. But it's Quest. All great warriors must take time out to listen. And then the other card that came out is Indian Blanket. Let the beauty of the natural world delight you. So there's something going on with this Quest energy that is part of December as well. We've got the ladybird. We've got the being called to action and being activated, either singularly as a solitary bringer of the light, meaning you're not working with a divine counterpart or soulmate, or in the case of those of you that are in divine counterpartnerships, divine counterpartnerships. Oh my God. Then you are being called up together to a new assignment. So let's just pull some cards. I've got 3 card decks: the Modern Witch Tarot, my Twin Hearts deck, and my Happy Cloud deck. See what goes with this. I'm just going to use this Quest and this Indian Blanket card. And I know for those of you listening, you can't see the cards, but it's fine. You can hear with your master ears what's being said. I can put a pic of all the cards in the thumbnail of the show if you absolutely have to see them. You can order a deck. Oh, that's the thing. Oh, Chikaka, the other announcement. But what is it called? What is my deck called? Pleiadian Power Oracle. It's finally shipped to me, so I should have it in a couple of days. So right around probably the beginning of next week, and then we're going to start using that. I want to use that for this month so much because of the light in that deck. All right, give me some cards. Give me some cards for December. Okay, what do you want? And it's 2 cards, so let's see if things are going to start happening in 2s, because we've got Calvin and Rosalie, so we've got partnerships coming up. And we got 3 cards. We got the Magician in reverse, the Moon in reverse, and the Page of Pentacles. And if you're not familiar with how I read cards, the way I read reversals is more of I don't have like a reverse meaning for it. I read them as significators, meaning they're like like an exclamation point, like things that we most pay attention to out of all the cards that are pulled. So the Moon and the Magician, well, obviously the Moon. I mean, these 2 lunations are supposed to be very powerful for everything. But the Magician and the Moon, let's put those over there. All right, let's see what comes out of Twin Hearts. So all of that in the Rose of San Juan Capistrano to say we're starting on a quest. So we got 2 cards from Twin Hearts. We got I'm Not Ready Yet. Oh, of course not. Chika Hartara. And Let's Make Up, which is a forgiveness card. Again, it's two paths converging. It's the out with the old. The let's make up card to me is like, we said karmic endings, so that new karmic beginnings can start is a big theme for this month. And it plays out in the astrology as well. I think from the channeling that Molly was doing, a lot of this astrology energy coming in is supporting the end of karmic relationships that are no longer for your highest and best good. So it doesn't have to be a romance, but and bringing in higher light vibe soul, higher light vibe soul tribe, higher light vibe soul tribe. Bringing in some higher light vibe soul tribe for you. And that's what the I'm not ready yet card. It's like you're waiting patiently. You're kind of like Molly McBottoms, the house fae in the story. She's like, yeah, I have total like faith that my manifestations are coming true, but at the same time, you know, I'll believe it when I see it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and just totally, not do anything else because I'm just waiting for that. At the same time, we're having to close out old relationships. Let's make up, bringing in forgiveness and bringing you a higher awareness of how and what those relationships stood for in your life, and why they're ending. Like, if you haven't already figured it out by now, like I think many of you, where this is the case, where it's about a relationship, romantic or otherwise, that's ending, like for a while, you've known that that's what needs to happen. It's just the divine timing. It's just waiting for divine timing. All right, I want to get some happy cloud on top of these. So they're having me put, here's not having me put this on the quest card. They're having me put the Magician and the Moon cards and the I'm not ready yet card. And then these other two, the Page of Pentacles and the Let's Make Up the Forgiveness card, are kind of off by the Let the Beauty of the Natural World Delight You. Let's see what Happy Cloud has to say. Happy Cloud has heart. Love is the answer, of course. Check in. Your guides are trying to reach you. And today, be here in the now. So that's just the same exact thing we already said. So love is always the answer. Things of your heart's desire are the way that you should follow. The quest that you should follow is a heart-centered, love-filled journey, and that's what you're being led to, no matter what it is. It doesn't even have to be about a person. It could be anything. It could be your soul purpose, your soul's work. We've talked a lot at the beginning of the show about being a bringer of the light. This could be anything having to do with your soul purpose, your life path, anything that is in your soul's blueprint, your destiny. That's why you're here. You're being guided towards whatever that is. And through all this stuff this month, through the magic of divine timing and all of these energetic updates that are happening. The other thing was Pluto. I think Pluto, the planet Pluto being at a certain degree point, Chikahara, I don't remember which one it is now, but it wasn't going to be there again I think for another 50 years or something. So Pluto, really playing a role, playing a dastardly role in people's spiritual awakening. Your guides are trying to reach you, is going with the Get Outside card. Let the beauty of the natural world delight you. Like, it's going to take awareness, constant awareness. Yeah, they're putting this in the middle path. So the new path that we're talking about, this one that starts with all these transits and things happening, this new quest that you're setting out on, which is divinely timed, is playing out through all these moon cycles and things, but is just not quite here yet. But it is love-based, and it's where you need to be. It is your destiny. That's getting started. In the middle of that is it's like it's back to these two roads that we talked about on the 11:11 show. Might be another show to go back and listen to, but it's like these two roads converging. In the middle path is the Indian blanket. Let the beauty of the natural will delight you, and check in. Your guides are trying to reach you. And what they're saying is stay focused, stay faith-filled and inspired to know that the new path is gently forming itself around you. This new high vibe, light tribe path or whatever is gently forming itself around you. And there's nothing you have to do but allow it to come through. There's so much angelic and starseed and earth angel and earth elemental and like so much support from all of our different guides and stuff, that it's like you're not going to miss the path because you're already on it. So you don't have to be asking the questions like, am I on the right path? Because you're on the right path. You just have to let it gently unfold around you. But you have to stay plugged in to the light, plugged into your dreams, plugged into the fact that it is coming. And we talked about this before too. I don't know what episode it was. It's like you're supposed to be gently getting confirmations that build your confidence, little ones, that build your confidence up to know that, yes, my bigger dreams are really being answered too, not just the little things I'm wanting. And then the other side of this path we've got the destiny path, the middle ground is staying plugged in, being outside. Do you know why we say to be outside too? I don't know if people are always aware. It's like nature is part of it. Like it's not the only thing. Your energy clears when you're outside. There's multiple reasons we keep telling you to get outside, that you resist sometimes. And some of you do. Like some of you that I know are really like fairy-based, elemental-based, earth elemental-based, like resist getting outside, especially in the colder times or during inclement weather. And you just don't know how paramount that is to your overall well-being of your entire avatar, all your mental, spiritual, physical and emotional bodies like need the outdoors. And you just have to, is it a diatribe? They're saying no, it's not. You just have to embrace that inner child, like put on some rubber boots, put on a coat. They're saying suck it up again. Suck it up and get outdoors, because many things happen. One of them is you pull yourself out of the matrix. I don't talk a lot on this show about the matrix. I let others kind of take care of that. It's just really not my thing to dive into 3D stuff that happens in the 3D world. I don't really put my focus there too much. But it pulls you out of the matrix. It pulls you out of the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth and the stuff that is indoors. It gets you out on the land. It gets your feet on Gaia, planted firmly on Gaia. It brings down spiritual power from the outer realms down through your crown, especially through Solaris. Even if Solaris, our sun, is not shining, like you can't see it, it's still happening. Even like moon bathing as well, going outside in the moon. Oh yeah, I need to do that. That's one thing I need to do more often. It's like you're talking, but you don't always do. Going outside at night, especially like probably because there's I don't know. There's no excuse. But go outside at night too and let some of those moon beams get on you. Freedom codes are coming up from Gaia, which if you are on the spiritual path, freedom codes are a big, big thing. Not just, it's like the freedom of your soul to be in its true magnificence. I just can't say that word today. Magnifying. Maybe it's more than one word trying to come in. But freedom codes are coming up from the earth that you can only really get from being outdoors on the land. So without being too much of a motherly, like get outdoors, go outside and play. Yeah, I'll be that motherly, like get outside and play. Don't come back until dinner time. Remember those fun days when you would like open the door and you couldn't wait to get outside? I don't know what happens when we get older. We get like kind of curmudgeon? Is that a word? Curmudgeonly, like just sit in my armchair and watch YouTube. I want to watch a good Netflix movie under a blanket because I want to be cozy, which I do, but finding a balance. Remember when you couldn't wait to get outside? I remember that. And I would go I was kind of a tomboy, I guess. Go do, build tree houses and stuff. And you didn't want to come back in when it was time for dinner. Remember that? Something happens. I don't know, but you didn't want to come back in. So you're being encouraged to get out as much as you can. On the other side of the heart destiny path is the ending, the path that's ending. And you're not let completely off it yet. This Page of Pentacles, this let's make up forgiveness energy. And today, be here in the now. The wisdom I can share for you, for those of you where one path is closing out. Well, I guess almost everybody, one path's closing out as a new one opens up. Is not to forget all the things around you that you do love. So even if it has to do with a person, a job, whatever, that's ending, we said you're going to come to a higher understanding of why they were there. And then I think somebody just said this morning that I was listening to, that you'll see them in a whole new light, that you'll just see, Master Co, he said you'll be able, he wasn't talking about a path ending, but he was talking about something, being on a spiritual path. And the more you open up your spiritual, your energy vibe raises, the more you're able to see things from a different lens, which is a lens of love and the higher frequencies and higher vibrations. And so you'll be able to start looking, it's like a Christ consciousness. And I did see Yeshua, he's on my wall, but Yeshua showed up in our Samhain candle this morning. It's just the wax forms into different shapes, and Yeshua was one of them. But from a Christ consciousness where you'll be, the turn the other cheek and the forgiveness and all of that, you'll be able to look at these people, especially the spirit of the season kind of thing. You'll be able to look at these people in a new light, especially these people that deep down are ending or leaving your life. And how do you know they're leaving your life? Because you want to manifest a new reality. And so you're wishing for them to leave your life so that something new and better can come in. So that's how you know. It's not like suddenly you're going to have a major tower moment and someone's leaving your life. Well, I guess that could happen. No, the other way around. You are manifesting somebody leaving your life because you're ready for something new. But that doesn't mean you still don't have gratitude for the journey. It doesn't mean, we talked about this, I don't want to diatribe and get off onto the Pleiadian pick-me-up we did for Thanksgiving Day here. Where we talked about having gratitude for your other soul tribe players in your life. But these themes are still playing out into December, it seems like. Be here in the now. And obviously there's got to be something in your now reality that you're grateful for that's totally going to carry on with you to your new high vibe life. It could be a pet. It could be another person. It could be other family members. It could be, things are going with you. You're not completely. So thankfully, I will say this quest that we're embarking on is not a quest where unless you really want to throw everything away and start fresh. Like when I had one of those, the end of 2017, where I got rid of all my possessions and started fresh. You can if you want to, but this isn't one necessarily where you have to do that. Some stuff is coming along for the ride. Other stuff you choose to leave behind. But it's not such a drastic new beginning. A quest, to me, it's got a different vibe about it. We'll have to look up the word quest. So being thankful for what's here now. Oh my word. So I had to stop and restart this thing. Let me see where I'm at. Yeah, so I've talked long enough. I'm going to go ahead and just check in with the guides and see if there's anything else they want me to share. Yes, that is a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here. The next time I see you will be for a solar eclipse pick a card in a couple of days. And I look forward to talking to you all again soon. Thank you and take care. Thank you for listening to this podcast. It has been brought to you by the Bringers of the Light, an etheric group of higher light beings focused on service to Gaia, humanity, and the self as it pertains to the spiritual journey. So they are here to support you on your path to love and to working with others. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care.